This is Standing Watch. And now, Evangelist Norbert Link.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to our Standing Watch program. How dedicated are Pope Francis and the Vatican and the Catholic priesthood to deal with the sexual abuse claims of children and also the subsequent cover-up allegations? I'd like to start with an article by the New York Times dated February 22 saying this. This month, the United Nations Committee on the Rights of the Child gave Italy a failing grade on protecting minors from sexual exploitation. In particular, the committee expressed concern about the numerous cases of children having been sexually abused by religious personnel of the Catholic Church and the low number of investigations and criminal persecutions and prosecutions of those crimes. And while other countries have taken a hard look at the problem of clerical abuse, Italy has approached it with something closer to a media blackout. Experts consider Italy's response to be one of the worst among Western nations. Now, why is that so? The article goes on to say, that indifference is largely due, experts say, to how tightly intertwined the Roman Catholic Church is with Italian culture and history. Even today, parish churches and priests often play a central role in the life of a community. Survivors accuse the government and the judiciary, which has been slow to investigate clerical abuse cases, of silence on the issue. Italian politicians want to stay on the good side of the Vatican. The Vatican is an economic and political power in Italy. It hushes everything up, one expert said. Now let me comment that even in the face of such widespread abuse, Italian politicians, the judiciary, and the people turn a blind eye to reality. The Catholic Church remains dominant and powerful in Italy. And its collaboration with the Italian government is interesting because it is reminiscent of a situation which existed under Mussolini and the Vatican. AFP wrote on February 24, Pope Francis on Sunday compared the sexual abuse of children to human sacrifice. Francis said those priests who prey on children are tools of Satan. And the Huffington Post added on February 24, the crimes won't be covered up, as was usual in the past, the Pope said. The statement comes just after German Cardinal Reinhard Marx admitted on Saturday that documents that covered or that could have named abusers were destroyed or not even created, while victims' rights were effectively trampled underfoot. Now the summit ended, and with it, disappointment continued. The Associated Press wrote on February 24, Pope Francis closed out his extraordinary summit on preventing clergy sex abuse by vowing Sunday to confront abusers with the wrath of God. But his failure to offer a concrete action plan to hold bishops accountable when they failed to protect their flocks from predators disappointed survivors who had expected more. And disappointed is a far too mild term. The Guardian wrote on February 22, activists for survivors of clerical sexual abuse have reacted furiously after Pope Francis failed to promise a zero-tolerance approach to pedophile priests and the bishops who cover up the crimes. A significant part of the pontiff's closing speech focused on the prevalence of child abuse across society. He said that the majority of cases arose within families and that the perpetrators of abuse were primarily parents, relatives, husbands of child brides, and teachers. While the Pope acknowledged that the occurrence of the sexual abuse of children within the Catholic Church was even more scandalous, his speech failed to reflect the concrete action that survivors of sex abuse were hoping for. You see, there are far too many influential and powerful homosexuals and pedophiles in the Catholic priesthood. The Pope will not change that, even if he wanted to. The following article by The Guardian, dated February 25, confirms this. It says Australian Cardinal George Pell, until recently the third most senior figure at the Vatican, is facing a prison term for the sexual abuse of minors in the 1990s. In France, a verdict is expected next week in the trial of the Archbishop of Lyon, who is accused with 5 others of helping to cover up alleged sexual abuse. Last month, the Vatican announced that a former Argentinian bishop, who was appointed to a senior position at the Holy City in 2017, was under preliminary investigation over alleged sexual abuse claims. Last June, Francis accepted the resignation of 3 Chilean bishops over their handling of abuse cases. In August, a damning grand jury report laid bare the scale of sexual abuse and its cover-up in Pennsylvania. After a disastrous papal visit in Ireland, a once staunchly Catholic country where the legacy of sexual abuse has decimated some congregations, an investigation in Germany found that more than 1,600 clergy were implicated in the abuse of 3,677 children over a 60-year period. It was probably only the tip of the iceberg. More than half the senior clerics in the Netherlands were accused of covering up sexual abuse. In the UK, the independent inquiry into child sexual abuse heard graphic testimony from former pupils at Catholic schools. And then the article concludes, changing a culture so dominant at all levels of the Church is essential but extremely difficult. And, as ever, Francis will face powerful resistance from those with most to lose. What is the future of the Roman Catholic Church? The Bible tells you very clearly. We have prepared a free booklet, The Mysteries of the Book of Revelation. You must read it. It's absolutely free for the asking, because it will tell you what is going to happen to the Catholic Church and to the rest of Christianity in the very near future. Thank you very much for listening. This is Norbert Link for the Standing Watch program.
Standing Watch is a presentation by The Church of the Eternal God, P.O. Box 270519, San Diego, California 92198. More information is also available at our website, eternalgod.org.